Hey everybody, welcome into our NBA TV studios. That's Chris Paul, eagerly awaiting the winner of this one. And this is Playoff Central Live, brought to you by State Farm. I'm Kristen Ledlow, alongside our Sam Mitchell, Brendan Haywood as well. We're with you for the next hour until it's time to switch over to the guys right down the hall on TNT. Unfortunately, though, the story of this postseason has become which team can stay healthiest longest. So let's start with what worked for the Bucks in Game 5, a win without Giannis in the lineup.
Well, they rediscovered Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
I mean, Brendan, you played against Brook early in your career.
Yes.
People forget that he was an all-star center when he played for New Jersey. And so they understood that by pounding the rock inside to Brook, activating him, look at all the things that happen, how it opened up their offense and opened up easy basket for others. So I think if you're Milwaukee, you got to continue to pound the rock. You done energized and awakened Brook Lopez. Let's keep feeding him rock until Atlanta stop it.
I totally agree. I had a chance to play against Brook Lopez, and when he was back in New Jersey, Sam, we dating ourselves because we did play in Jersey.
Yes, we did.
But the fact that Brook Lopez was the guy that was getting you 20 points per game in Jersey, doing work on the block, doing work in the paint, and he was an all-star. Now he's getting back to that. I know he's had to change his game so he can have some more longevity within this league because they act like centers are supposed to be allergic to the paint. But good things happen in that paint, and Brook Lopez is rediscovering that. They call him Splash Mountain because he's out there hitting corner threes. But in that last game, he was getting it done, 14 for 18 inside, and that's what that 14 for 18 from the field, and most of that was done inside. Only took 2 threes.
But also, Brendan, they might call him Splash Mountain. You and I did a lot of research during the last game about Brook's affinity for Disney World.
Yes, he really likes Disney.
And comic
We could
books.
get into that maybe a little later. It does seem like we've got other news to get to, though, first, because a couple of hours ahead of tip-off, we still don't know anything about whether or not Trae Young is going to be in the lineup. They did win Game 4 without him. So what does Game 6 look like if he is in the lineup and if he isn't, Brendan?
If Trae Young is in the lineup, it activates everybody else. Even if he's not 100%, the fact that he's out there, that means Milwaukee's going to have all eyes on him, and that's going to free up guys like Bogdanovich, guys like Gallinari. He's going to be able to get his shot, and he's going to be able to get shots for others, and it makes those guys' jobs easier. If he's not there, well, now we're going to need one of these guys to really, really step up. Bogey had a good game the last game. Lou Williams had a game, the previous game before that, where he had 8 assists, only 1 turnover. So one of these role guys that can score like Bogey, Lou, or Gallinari is going to have to step up if Trae can't play.
I want to take you guys back to the Phoenix Suns' first game against Clippers when Devin Booker played the point. Looked unbelievable, right?
Right.
The second game when he had to play the point, a little different.
Yeah.
Guys can do it for a short term. But when you're asking guys to do it long term, that's the problem. Look, Atlanta was great in Game 4 without Trae. But to your point, they're going to need him in this game right here because if they don't win, they're closed out. And when they're able to get back into their offense in that high screening role, and he's effective, look at all the players you activate. You activate all those shooters. You activate Trae Young especially, and then you give Clint Capella the chance to do what he does best, get behind the defense and finish, and you energize him. So it's important that Nate McMillan have him if he's healthy because it gets them back into their comfort zone, it gets them back in their flow, and everybody else now can go back to their spots and do their work. When Trae Young is not out there, now you're asking Lou Williams and others to try to step in and fill that void. It's hard enough to do what they need to do. Now try to do what Trae do. It's almost impossible. They did it for one game, but we saw in Phoenix, Devin Booker had a hard time in Game 2 playing the point guard position.
Exactly.
Brendan, though, did mention Bogdanovich, coach. He had a playoff career high, 28 points, 7 3-pointers in that last one. What are your expectations for him if, in fact, this team does avoid elimination?
Well, the one thing about him, Brendan, now you see why Milwaukee wanted him so bad because not only is he a great shooter, this guy can put the ball in his hand and you can run some pick and roll with him. And the thing about him early in this series, he looked a little banged up and a little gimpy. Now you can tell that knee is feeling better. He's moving better. He's looking and hunting for shots. And in the playoffs, you need your best scorers and your best shooters taking the majority of the shots. And right now, they're going to need him to keep looking for those shots. And you need his mobility. If he's healthy and moving good, that's a good sign for Atlanta.
Whether Trae plays or he doesn't play, they're going to need Bogdanovich to have a big game. He's a guy that is not just a shooter. Guys that are just shooters, coach, you know this, they're easy to erase in the playoffs. You can scheme them out of a series. But guys like Bogdanovich that can shoot, put it on the floor, get to the basket, and you can use them in a little bit of pick and roll action, those guys give you a lot more leverage when you're on the coaching staff from an offensive standpoint. And he did very well last game as we've seen him get healthier, and I think he's going to have a good game tonight, and they're going to need it. Trae Young or no Trae Young, Bogey got to come to play. Bogdanovich got to ball out.
What about John Collins? Because we're talking about the Bucks dominating the paint even without Giannis in this lineup. He had 19 in the last game. That was his most since game 1 in this series. But
I like his suit.
Somebody in the NBA.
Yeah, I like that.
There's some real style.
Must be bright in there
Yes.
too. Got his shades on.
Yeah,
I like that. Hey,
looks like a pro, don't he?
Hey, he swagged out, boy. He looked like new money because he about to get some this offseason.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Back up the Brinks truck.
So operating under the assumption that style translates to the court as well. Do you need to see more from him in this one? As we mentioned, the Bucks did dominate inside.
I need to see him take it personal. John Collins and Clint Capella. If I was Nate McMillan, I would have been showing them all the film of how Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez kicked their behind. And I'd be like, hey, listen, and they got offensive rebounds in the first quarter. They got extra possessions. Inside, we couldn't stop them. Their post players dominated the game. Are you going to get up off the mat? You know, Coach, everybody gets hit in the mouth in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
But can you get up off the mat? When you get hit in the mouth, do you stay down or do you get up? That's what I'd be telling them. If I'm Nate McMillan, I'd be saying, hey, John, I'll be showing them all the clips of when Bobby Portis beat him down the floor, got offensive rebounds and hit shots. We can't have Bobby Portis outplay you tonight. Can't happen.
Go back to game 1, 15 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need. Atlanta out-rebounded Milwaukee in game 1. They were more physical. They were more active. They need that from John Collins. They need the activity. And something that Isaiah been saying, when he catches the ball 17 feet in, I want to see him in attack mode. I want to see him put the ball on the floor and get to the basket to either create for himself, or his teammates, because he's too athletic to just settle for standstill jump shots. He can score in transition, he can get to the rim, and he can put it on the floor. So let's start seeing all phases of his game, especially if Trey is not there tonight.
Well, we've got to take a break, but our pregame coverage continues until it's time to switch over to TNT for Game 6 of the Eastern
That
Conference.
boy look good. Man, I like
Save
that.
some of your suits for
John,
the finals,
send me your Taylor number.
Hey, nah, man, you don't need his Taylor's number. You know you stay fly too, Unc.
I'm trying to make him feel good, man.
Unc, you be looking for. Hey, you sharp right now. I knew I was going to have to bring up my Sunday's best with you around. You casket sharp out here.
Coming up next, by the way.
A good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Saturday night. Brennan's in the building.
Mm-hmm.
He said there's no reason he'd be in the building otherwise, so that means it's time for House of Haywood. Take it away.
I already told you it's the only reason I showed up on this good Saturday.
Fair.
That and to hang with Sam.
It should be House of Pain.
Again, thank you.
Hey, Sam, you ready to go into the House of Haywood?
Yes, sir.
Kristen, you ready to walk with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, then roll my clips. Let's get some of the best plays from the big men from around the association. The playoff edition of House of Haywood. As you already know, we're presented by Expedia. That's right, we got sponsorship.
Impressive.
I'm gonna get you a flight. I'm gonna get you a free flight, Kristen.
Thank you.
Play number 5. We got my man Big Cuz, Boogie Cousins, sending Dario Saric to his room. You see the nice pass, but he doesn't stop there. Comes right back with a dunk and serves up the facial. Sam, look at this right here. Now watch when he bangs on him though. Saric goes straight to the ground. You got to keep your balance there, young fella.
Go to your room.
Got to keep your balance there. Hey, Kawhi likes it. 2 thumbs up. And that's about the most excitement you're going to get out of Kawhi. I love the stare down, too.
You can't look back up.
Yeah, that's a mean mug, man. Play number 4. One of the best passes in the playoffs, but also it comes down to the finish from DeAndre Ayton. The game-winning lob pass from DeAndre Ayton. I didn't know this rule. I'm not going to lie. When I first saw the play, I thought it was a goaltend. But guess what? Bucket good. That's exactly the look I had on my face.
How is number 4 and not number 1?
Hey, because I got some more tricks up my sleeve, all right? Hey, I do the count around here, Kristen. It's the House of Haywood, not the House of Ledlow, all right? Watch the play one more time and watch how DeAndre Ayton finishes.
That would get more money from Expedia if it was.
It definitely would. That's right. Look at that play right there. Your Phoenix Suns, they're on their way to the NBA Finals. Play number 3. We're going to go with a flashback. Remember when Michael Jordan pulled this out, Coach? Mm-hmm. Remember when he went up and around? Ledlow, you remember that play, right?
Okay, yes.
Well, we're going to take it to the new version because now we have big men making plays like this. Yes, we do. Maybe not quite Jordan, but we'll call it Jordan-esque. Look at this right here. Spin move and now you see it, now you don't. Giannis with the spin move and the trickeration on Clint Capella.
All right.
Clint Capella thought he had a block. He tried it. He certainly tried it, but at the end of the day, Giannis, he just got him. He was too good. Ooh, wait, you see the face? Look at him. You see him like, Sam, I'm going to give it to you one more time. Sam,
that was nice.
Yeah, I knew you liked it. Sam likes it. Must be a good play. Because Sam be liking to hate sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
Play number 2. I know what you won't hate on. You won't hate on this play right here. I call this oops upside your head off the backboard. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
John Collins catching the lob off the backboard from Trae Young. Brooke Lopez, you are just in time. If I close my eyes, he may miss. Don't worry about it. Open your eyes, Brooke. Open your eyes. John Collins going up, and away, over the top, over Brooke Lopez.
Well, wasn't it Kent Bazemore that said they used to do that in practice?
They did.
Never pull that off in a game.
That's right. The audacity. It's the audacity for me.
Yeah.
It's the audacity. But play number one, you asked what play number one was.
Yeah.
And once again, we're going back into the vault. Sam Piper, were you playing when Larry Bird made that shot?
Look at that guy on the bench, on the sideline, and kicking his legs up. Watch you play. Right there. That's me sitting right there. That was my rookie year, sitting on the floor. Watch it.
Man.
Wow.
I didn't know you were that old. Hey, listen. But now we have Clint Capella with the new school version. Larry Bird's bucket didn't count, but Clint Capella's did. That's right.
Wow.
We got big fellas hitting horse shots in high leverage Eastern Conference Finals moments. There you see Clint Capella with the fadeaway over the backboard. Y'all think he practices that shot?
No.
Huh?
What? You have to.
Think so? I mean, look at the touch on Sam. Look at the touch on
Man, if Nate McMillan come in the gym and see Clint Capella practice that shot, he'll send him to the woodshed.
Look at Mutombo. Look at Mutombo. Oh, my God. Not in the house of Mutombo. I couldn't believe he hit that shot.
What? What did you say?
Oh, my God. Not in the house of Mutombo. I cannot believe he hit that shot.
Okay.
Oh, my God. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again. That's my best Mutombo impression. I don't know how good it was.
It was
good.
very good,
All right.
especially to have to do it on command 3 total times. All right, we do, though, have to, take it back to Atlanta because Nate McMillan has addressed the media discussing how the Bucks are going to attack the paint with or without Giannis in the lineup. Check it out.
They are an attack the paint team. You know, they play that way with Giannis, and they play that way without Giannis. They want to attack the paint, attack the rim. If you take away the paint and collapse on the ball, they will kick out and shoot the 3 ball. You know, so really that was not a surprise to me. What they did, how easily they did that was a surprise to me. They punished us in the paint.
Just like us, the Bucks are a good team because they're a good team, not because they have one guy. And you saw that similar the way we kicked them in Game 4, and we didn't expect them to fold when he went out. So we got to respond better. Yeah, they hit us first last game, like we said. We dug ourselves a hole early, and the team has a lot of vets over there, and they got some really good players.
The games that Giannis did sit out this year, I mean, Brook, he went crazy in all those games that we played. He had monster numbers in those games, so we already know what we're going to get out of Brook. He protects the rim, he plays hard. He's a team guy. He's fun to play with.
I feel like people forget Brook is a leading scorer in somebody else's franchise. So he's definitely a bucket. But the way that he controls himself, I think the way that he carries himself as a professional is something that I admire. But yeah, Brook can do this anytime he wants to.
He's not wrong. In a decisive Game 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals, with the 2-time MVP on the bench, Brooke Lopez led the Bucks to a win with a playoff career-high 33 points. He was 14 of 18 from the field and 5 of 7 from the free throw line. So, Brendan, knowing that paint points would have to be made up for with Giannis on the bench, how was it that Brooke dominated down low?
Well, Brooke decided to go back to his roots and go inside. See, you see this play right here? A lot of times he pops on this play right here. But he sees the Atlanta Hawks defense, all eyes are focused on his teammate, and he goes and gets the lob pass right here. Once again, in previous games, he would have stayed on the perimeter. He sees a hole in the middle of the paint. He feels it, comes crashing down the lane. In one hand, he straight throws it down with power. Brooke still got some bounce in those legs. Now we see him setting the screen. A lot of times he likes to pop. There's no Giannis, so he says, guess what? I have to be the roller. Rolls to the basket, catches the lob right on top of John Collins' head. And that was the difference for me. Instead of staying strictly perimeter-based, Brooke Lopez diversified his portfolio. He took a couple of jumpers and a couple mid-range shots, but he really did his damage inside.
And during the commercial break, Coach, you said, I've always really liked Bobby Portis.
Yes.
His first playoff career start, he drops a playoff career high. How impressed were you with his ability to step up to the moment?
Well, he's always reminded me, guys, of a physical player with skill. I mean, he's tough. He comes out and plays physical, but then when you watch him play, he can put the ball on the floor, he can finish. Look at this skill set right here. Look at him able to post up right here, Herder, and then hit him with the fadeaway jump shot. And then in transition, he's athletic enough to get out and run. And then when you set him in them corners and let him get his feet set, he can knock down threes. So the thing that's always been puzzling to me is on the teams that he's played in, teams haven't used him enough. He can play the 4. He can play that small 5 position. He can even play a little 3 for you. But he can guard perimeter guys. He can play inside. He's mentally tough, physically tough, and he's skilled.
We have just heard from a couple of miles down the street, Nate McMillan saying that Trae Young is still a game-time decision. So we'll have the latest for you as soon as we get that. But after the break, we'll be with you for the
Red
next...
Velvet.
Well,
They need him.
well, less than an hour now.
Kayvon, we're gonna get Kevin and we're gonna get Kayvon tonight. You know they be calling him, when he balling, they call him Kayvon.
They're going to need Kayvon. I don't know who they're going to get, but they need Kayvon tonight.
They're gonna need Kevin and Kayvon.
the great guys who carried on this tradition and winning the Rookie of the Year award, and especially the guys like Larry Bird and Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, who went on to lead their teams to championships. So hopefully I can do the same thing with this award. And now it's time to, I made the All-Star game. Now it's time to get to the playoffs. Time to win a championship. Time to get MVP at the All-Star game. Try different things. You always got to push yourself. This is for June. Everything I'm doing right now is to try to get to June. That's the finals. That's the finals. That's what everybody plays to, so they can hold up that trophy in June. And I haven't done it yet. And I've had 4 pretty good years since I've been in the NBA, but obviously it hasn't been good enough. I haven't won a championship, so I got to work harder. I have a long way to go. I've been an All-Star a few times now, won a gold medal, but I have to win an NBA championship. I have to. I want to see what it's like at the end of the season to hold up that trophy and realize that all that hard work has paid off. So I have a ways to go on my journey, but I'm excited about it, and wouldn't have it any other way. You can't go somewhere you've never been without doing something you've never done. So I've never been to the finals, let alone the Western Conference Finals. So that means, I have to do more. Personally, collectively as a team, we have to do something a little bit more in order to get there. As a kid, you think of all the different things that you wanted to be, what you wanted to do. Win a championship is one of them. You hope and pray that you'll get to the NBA. Obviously that has been done and accomplished. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna compete, we're gonna play as hard as we can, and ultimately we know, what the ultimate prize is. You gotta hate to lose more than you like to win. There's just a will. Everybody in this locker room. That's the one thing that, especially our core, we all have in common, that we haven't won. So we all want to win.
As some of this stuff has happened over the years, the thumb in a jersey,
Portland.
The hamstring, the Rockets.
Houston.
Here's the list.
I can run them off to you.
COVID, a week ago,
right.
The shoulder. Has it ever in your mind been like, this might not happen?
Nope. I ain't built like that. You know what I mean? It's just get to work. I think back to my first conversations with Book, with James Jones, all the stuff that had to happen in order for us to get here, right? It's just part of the process.
Wow. And take a look at the Suns' scoring improvement from the regular season to this just stunning playoff run. Guys, and I'll start with you, Coach. It's his 16th season in the NBA. Chris Paul is headed to the finals for the first time. What, as you look at all of those interviews spanning 16 years, does it mean to him, and what does he mean to the Suns?
Well, it means everything. Look what he talked about.
Yeah.
Winning a championship. He didn't talk about, look, I accomplished being an all-star. I accomplished making it to the league. But now it's about winning the NBA championship. And when you look at the work that he's put in, and you look at all the things that he's put his body through and his mind through, and all the teams that he's played for trying to get there, he understood when he got to Phoenix, he had a great opportunity. And if you look at DeAndre Ayton, forget Devin Booker. Devin Booker showed what he was going to do in the bubble the year before Chris Paul got there. The guy that was missing was DeAndre Ayton, the former number 1 pick who had all this promise and all this talent, but had yet to take that next step. Under Chris Paul and with Devin Booker help and Monty Williams, if you look at Ayton the way he's played, to me, he's been the determining factor. You knew what Book was going to do. You knew what Chris Paul was going to do. But did you think they had enough? the way Aiden has stepped up and played and led this team to a Western Conference championship, he was the guy that they had to have on the floor. If you think about it, regardless of how you played against Phoenix, whether you went big or small, you didn't have to take him off the floor. And we saw with Utah, Rudy Gobert was a fish out of water when the Clippers went small on him. With him, he was able to stay on the floor because of his versatility, and he's finally starting to play like the number one pick they always needed him to.
DeAndre Ayton is definitely key to their team, and I think that you brought up a good point. When they played against Utah, they could scheme Rudy Gobert out of the game. And then at the same time, when they went small, we're talking about the Clippers versus Utah, they couldn't throw the ball into Rudy. DeAndre Ayton's not that type of center. If you go small, he can go out there and he can punish those little guys. He has jump hooks, good touch around the basket, very good free throw shooter, range out to about 17 feet. And now he's playing big. He's rolling to the basket. He's the beneficiary of a lot of lobs from Chris Paul. Chris Paul has him playing the right way, and DeAndre Jordan even said it himself. He's meant so much to my career because he's helped them be in the right place at the right time. He gives them confidence, and he showed the young fella how to play. That's why Chris Paul is one of the best leaders that's ever come through this league.
I'm glad that I want more on your thoughts on Chris Paul because, 41 points is one thing, but in a decisive closeout game, and 31 of them come in the second half, what does it say about what he was trying to accomplish in the Western Conference Finals?
It just shows how important this is to him. It shows that he didn't want to lose. And you see Chris Paul, he hits the shot right there, but it just wasn't about his offense. It was the leadership. It was the timely buckets. It was the fact that, he was like, we are refusing to lose tonight. I am not going to let this opportunity slip away from me. Chris Paul has had some unfortunate situations, like when he was in Houston and they had Golden State kind of beaten that series. You never know what can happen, but they had him down 3-1. Then the hamstring goes out. He doesn't get to finish that out. He's had some series with the Clippers where they've been up and they didn't get to finish those series out. So to me, that was a signature moment in Chris Paul's career because he's had so many times when he's been up 3-1, he couldn't close out the series. He closed out that series and got them to the NBA Finals.
You said, Coach, that we saw already what Devin Booker was capable of. He wasn't relied upon as heavily during the Western Conference Finals, which does speak to the depth of that team and his adapting to whatever was necessary. But what are your expectations for him during the NBA Finals?
I expect him to continue to shine. Devin Booker's, look, the thing that I love about him, he's been patiently waiting for this opportunity. He's been in Phoenix, and he's been playing like this since he's coming to the league.
Yeah.
He's been an all-star caliber talent since he's been in the league. He's just been playing out at Phoenix. And you know at NBA TV, if you're coming on at 10:30 and you're the Phoenix Suns, nobody's watching. But guess what? Devin Booker gives you a reason to stay up late and watch this Phoenix Suns team. And so for me, it's just another step for him to keep reminding us, you guys have overlooked me. You put me on the all-star team as an afterthought. Well, I'm here to stay right now, and we have a chance to hoist that trophy. And I got a feeling going forward, from all-star selections going forward, Devin Booker would not be an afterthought going forward after he do what he's getting ready to do in the finals.
I love the fact that you brought up Devin Booker being an alternate to be on the All-Star game this year, because that just shows me his mental toughness. Because a lot of young guys, they want to win, but they want the accolades. Yep. They want all. And so this year kind of shifted. Chris Paul started getting more accolades. Even though Devin Booker's the franchise player, he's still the best player on this team. But Chris Paul was the guy that was on the All-Star team. Chris Paul was on the All-NBA team. And guess what? Devin Booker never said a word because that type of thing wasn't important to him. He wants to be there, but winning.
Since he come to the league.
Exactly. Winning is more important. And so there's so many guys that, they want to win, but if they're not getting the shine, they over there pouting, they mad, they checking Twitter like, I'm not on that team.
A lot of guys, Brendan, want to win if they can win under their certain conditions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Devin Booker just wants to win.
He just wants to win. He's tired. The fact that he's tired of losing and he wants to do whatever it takes and he doesn't care who gets the credit, that's the type of guy I want my franchise to be built around. A leader that says, I don't care who gets the credit, long as we win. What would you have
done if Devin Booker with a broke nose going to set that screen that he set? Think about this. A broken nose, Monty Williams asked him to set a screen on a 7-foot, 270-pound Zubac who dropped that shoulder on him. So in order to ask a guy who just got his nose broken to do that, you have to have faith that this guy is at the point to where whatever I need to do to give us a chance to win, I'm willing to do. And he gave up his body to do
exactly.
it.
Devin better than
I've had this nose broken 4 times.
Devin's better than
it hurts. Yes. Can't you see?
I think it looks nice.
Well, after they beat it up and twisted around
it healed
a few times,
nicely.
my mother told me it adds character. That's what she told me.
It does.
My mom told me that.
Yeah, wait.
Okay. Just keep it in context.
How have we gone off the rails this quickly?
See?
And this far. Yeah. What, though, I want to ask about Jay Crowder as well, what he's contributed, because this is a guy who had 19 in a closeout game, but 16 of them came in that first half as the Suns were trying to establish a lead, Coach.
Veteran. A veteran that knows who he is, understands what he does defensively, understands all the schemes on offense, does what he do best, knock down threes. But the thing I like about him, Brendan, his veteran toughness. Look, he doesn't get a lot of accolades, but when you look at this team, who takes the toughest forward every night?
Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder. Who's out there banging and giving up their body? Jay Crowder. Who made that great pass? People talk about the finish.
Yeah.
But Flip Saunders used to say this all the time. It don't matter if the guy inbounding the ball can't get it to who you want it to get it to, then the player, doesn't matter how great the player is or how good you think the player is. So when you look at Crowder and all the things he does, he is like a 1B to Chris Paul. He's that other guy in the locker room that when Chris speaks, he echoes it.
Yeah, Jay Crowder kind of reminds me of a guy that I played with in D.C. and in Dallas. That's Deshaun Stevenson. And that's just a guy that's very, very tough, that can hit the corner three, guards anybody, he's not scared to guard anybody, and brings you that veteran presence. And so I see a lot of that in Jay Crowder. I see the similarities. And then the fact that the moment's never too big. If I got to take a corner three in the fourth quarter, I'm ready for that. If I got to go guard LeBron, I'll do that too. And we saw how he has impacted this series. And even that first series, he never backed down from LeBron. Even when LeBron got the better of him early in that series, he continued to compete. He continued to take his shots. And at the end of that series, Jay Crowder was the one doing that salsa dance. Hey, hit that joint, Jay. Now he's salsing all the way to the NBA Finals.
Boy, I did not know a big man had such light feet.
Hey, man, hit that salsa, Jay. Hey, man, hit that salsa on him, man.
Boy.
Wow. I was told to take us to commercial break, but if you want to give us that one more time.
I'm not doing it again.
I feel like there's time.
I'm not doing it again.
All right.
Oh, look at it. Who's that?
Our pregame coverage continues. Drew Holiday arriving, as well as Bobby Portis right behind him. We'll talk more about the Eastern Conference Finals.
The sad thing about it, that T-shirt probably cost $200.
For this one, yeah.
Bobby must be expecting rain.
A roll. So I think for them to be able to do that, to be able to step up in a game like this is huge.
The Portis for three.
New playoff high now for Bobby Portis.
And the Milwaukee Bucks are 1 win away from the NBA Finals.
Drew Holiday has had 5 double-doubles this postseason. 3 of them have come against the Hawks. We're looking at some of his numbers from this playoff run. Top 10 in assists and in steals. Coach, break down what's working well for Drew as he's averaging more than 8 assists in this series alone and getting it done defensively.
Well, we know what Drew can do offensively, but this is the thing that he's picked up. Look at this defense right here. He is dogging Trae Young. He's picking up, he's playing 2 guys. Got a hand in the passing lane for a steal. Look at this defense on Lou Williams. As he hears the screen, he steps into Lou Williams, gets a hand and pokes the ball away, and now he's off to the races. And then this is Drew Holiday. Remember, Giannis normally has the ball. Drew Holiday said, look, I'm the point guard, and when I get into the paint, I can find open players. Look at Brook Lopez get behind the defense for that easy dunk from the house of Haywood right there. And then here's Drew right here. Look how he sets up Brook Lopez. And he breaks down the defense and gets us to the paint and draws 2 defenders. Brook Lopez, normally like Brenda said, stay at the 3-point line. He dove and found those open spots. We have to remember, a lot of times Giannis has the ball. Without Giannis being in the lineup, Drew Holiday said, wait a minute. I am a point guard. I'm used to having the ball in my hands all the time. And so they just went back to playing basketball the way they normally do without Giannis, putting the ball back in Drew's hand, putting him in high screen and roll, letting him get out in transition and create for others. And when he gets to the basket, people forget, Drew Holiday's 6'4.5", 6'5". He can finish in the paint, and now he's finding Brook Lopez, who's diving to the basket. He's playing his best basketball.
He's also looking to make his first trip to the finals in, his 12th season. And Brendan, you told me a couple of days ago that he was going to be an X factor in this team's success. Do you still see it that way?
Yeah, I definitely think Drew Holiday is going to be an X factor in this series, just for the simple fact that he's one of those guys that as coaches pointed out, he does more than just score the basketball. He can score the basketball, he can get assists, he can hit timely shots, and then at the same time, he can play lockdown defense and create turnovers. Those are the type of guys that you win with, guys that can do multiple things. There's multiple layers to their game. There's some guys, when they're not scoring, they're snoring. He is not one of those guys. He can do multiple things out there, and I like the ball in his hands. And, Coach, I'm going to throw this back to you real quick. I want to ask you a question. seeing the way that Brook Lopez is now diving down the lane, seeing the way that we have Holiday playing well with the ball, when Giannis comes back, do you think that'll be, if you were the coach, would that be an adjustment that you would make? Giannis is back, but we're still going to leave the ball in Drew Holiday's and Middleton's hands a lot more and let Giannis be more of a finisher than a facilitator.
I do both. I still wouldn't completely take the ball out of Giannis' hands.
Not all the time.
He's so lethal. But I've been reminded how good Drew is with the ball. And now the fact that Brook Lopez can pop or dive, and people used to him popping, they're not used to Milwaukee running traditional offenses like everyone has a high screening role. So this is going to be tough for Atlanta to make an adjustment like this on the fly because you're not used to Brook Lopez diving and you're not used to having Drew Holiday in that high screening role.
Well, we've got to take yet another break. We're, just a few minutes left until it's time to switch over to TNT. Our pregame coverage will continue until then. Then, well, it'll be time for Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Will Chris Middleton and the Bucks advance, or will the Hawks avoid elimination? Stay with us.
I mean, this group is great. I tend to love every group I coach, and they all have their strengths and things that just make them special. And I hadn't thought one bit about it, but I certainly know and understand, what PJ and Bobby bring, and kind of that energy and the voice and everything. But I always talk. It's interesting how people affect people different ways, and I'll take any of those guys every day of the week. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. They've got, a lot of weapons. Williams has stepped in and played really well as kind of the primary ball handler. Bogdanovich, Herter, Capella and Collins as screeners. And, we're just trying to do everything we can to try and make the shots tough, contested. But they're a handful. So, hopefully maybe we can get better. And you got to keep scoring against these guys. He did go on the court. I wasn't with him or didn't see it, so exactly what, I don't know, but he did go on the court.
Jim, I guess opposite of Eric's question with Bobby and PJ. Drew, conversely, I guess, from day one, as he's been asked, did you feel pressure being brought here to sort of help this team overcome? And he's said there's no pressure. Is that a underrated skill set, if you will, considering guys like that? I mean, when they are traded for and given that kind of contract, like that can, as you said, at times it's human. I don't know, how have you seen him handle that? I mean, how important has that been that he's been that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think his poise, his confidence, that just the way Drew Holiday just carries himself every day, I think helps him, with everything. And I think he's just got a lot of confidence. He's earned everybody's respect and confidence in him from the first day of training camp. And, we certainly benefit from it, and his steadiness. And it's just the way he's built. Parents or coaches or wherever, he's just got a great way about him, a great confidence, a great steadiness that I think helps with what you're asking.
Our pregame coverage continues until it's time to switch over to TNT for Game 6. The series is back in Atlanta, just a couple miles away, guys.
Hawks in the big game from Collins tonight.
Covering the series for NBA TV and TNT. And guys, if the Hawks avoid elimination in this one, Game 7 will be on Monday in Milwaukee. It'll be the second straight series for each of these teams to go the distance. But again, as she talks to Bogey, a playoff career high 28 points for him in Game 5. What was it, Coach, that was working well and could carry over to Game 6?
His ability to move with the basketball, move without the basketball, and with it. You look at him right now, he's moving freely. He doesn't have that knee sleeve or knee brace on, so that's encouraging right now. And he's got his legs back in his spring back. The fact that this guy can move so relentlessly without the ball, and then when he has it, you can put him in pick and roll. He can break his defender down, get in the paint, and at his size, he can spray the ball and find others. So, again, even with Trae Young playing, you can expect them to take the ball out of Trae's hands sometime to give him a blow, and that's a good number 2 person to put the ball in his hands.
A career playoff high 7 3-pointers as well, Brendan.
It's 7 threes, and that's the name of his game for the season. In the regular season, that is, he shot 44% from three. And Sam, you know, that's scorching right there. So the fact that he's now getting healthy, getting back to himself, I think bodes very well for the Atlanta Hawks because, like you said, whether Trey plays or not, you can put the ball in his hands and he can do some things. But if Trey does play, if he's in that corner, he's pretty much money from over there. So I like what they have in Bogdanovich. It was a underrated great signing to me and one that's really going to help them in this series if they're going to move forward.
Can you imagine if Milwaukee had him on the team they got now? Oh, my God. Ooh.
The shooting would be unreal. The shooting would be unreal.
Well, we've, again, got to take another break. We're now less than an hour away until it's game time. The Hawks are looking to avoid elimination in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals as the Bucks lead the way 3-2. 6, guys, as the Hawks look to avoid elimination. The Bucks lead the Eastern Conference Finals 3-2. So before we get to predictions, I had to get to that news because I thought perhaps it would affect your.
Well, huge news for the Hawks, but for me, I've been riding with the Hawks. I picked the Hawks against New York. I picked the Hawks against Philadelphia, and I picked them against Milwaukee. So look, I'm going to ride with the Hawks until I can't ride no more. So the Atlanta Hawks tonight, they're going to force a Game 7 in Milwaukee.
Well, listen, I was going to go with Atlanta without Trey just because I believe playing at home, role players play better on the road, at home, and I think that Atlanta was going to come off and feed off the energy of this crowd and get that win. But with Trey, I know they're going to be juiced up, so I think Atlanta definitely wins this game. I'm not going to say definitely, but I feel strongly about it.
We've got like an hour. If our producer gives us the A-OK, we could probably get to some of the start of the game, like if we promise to come back.
You think so? We can make it there?
You think?
Hey, Sam, you pick the Hawks.
No.
You gonna do the Shaq, do the little Hawk there?
No.
That's not in your repertoire?
No.
It's mine, not of mine either. I was setting you up for failure.
I'm a two-step.
Though, all right, so you're both riding with the Hawks in this one at home. But what if the Bucks are able to close out with Giannis still sidelined? What will have happened, Coach?
That means Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton, and though Drew Holiday stepped up and did what they do. Look, we have to remember now, the Milwaukee Bucks still have 2 All-Stars. Chris Middleton, an All-Star, and Drew Holiday has been an All-Star, and he wouldn't make another All-Star team or 2 before he's done in Milwaukee. So you still have to understand Milwaukee has a good team, and they're still, when you look at all the teams in the playoffs, they're still one of the healthiest teams still playing.
If Milwaukee is able to win this game, it's going to be because either Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday had an excellent game. Maybe both of them have an excellent game. They put a lot of money into these guys. Hey, listen, Drew Holiday just got his money recently.
Yep.
What do you get, like 140? Hey, when I say
no, more than that.
When I say he got his own money, the boy got his own money.
That's it.
So at the end of the day, when they don't give you that type of money if you don't deserve it in some way, shape, or form, I think Holiday and Middleton show they're worth the bag.
I agree.
So you're not expecting playoff career nights again from Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis?
I think those guys are going to they're going to still play well. They're going to have that impact.
Right.
But if the Milwaukee Bucks win this game, one of those 2 guys is going to really set the table.
All right, I like it. Well, if this series.
But we rolling with the Hawks, right, Sam?
Absolutely.
Me and you? Oh, we got
Monday.
the glass right here. We're not supposed to do that. There we go. Right there.
That'll do it for our pregame coverage right here on NBA TV. But Playoff Central Live is going to continue with post-game press conferences from both the Bucks and the Hawks after Game 6. So come back and hang out with us then.
Hey, man, let's go to the ring and try to watch the first half, Kristen.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
We'll be back.
Let me catch me an Uber real quick.
We'll be back. If not, we can. The Eastern Conference Finals continue with Game 6 in Atlanta, just a couple of miles from here as the Bucks lead the Hawks 3-2. And a couple of hours ahead of tip-off, Hawks star Trey Young is still listed as questionable to play with a bone bruise on his right foot. Guys, Hawks fans are sending out that bat signal as well. I bet if we walked outside, we could see it.
Think so? I know it's the light outside, right?
Then you only can see it in dark, Brendan?
That's the only time they show the Batman sign in the movies.
Well, he's going to need to make the decision before the sun goes down.
Listen, you know you can't say that kind of stuff with Brendan.
Chris Middleton and the Bucks are looking to advance to the finals without their 2-time MVP as Giannis Antetokounmpo has been ruled out of this game because of that hyperextended knee he suffered in Game 4. The game tips off just after 8:30 on TV.